Well, a cat will eat your face within 8 hours of you dying. A dog wouldn't do that.
Okay. Would you open up to cats once you get to know mine and see their behaviors and stuff?
Not going to be overly playful with the cats, but they can be there.
Hi everyone, I'm so sorry for my late reviews. As I said, I'm on holiday for the next week, so I will try and catch up as much as I can whenever I have a moment to stop. Anyway, this episode was very interesting in the sense that Leisha knows what winds Reiss up, and yet she continues to do it. And his mom didn't seem impressed, which is really sad. And finally, we start to see cracks between Bailey and Rebecca. I've been saying that something is not right. And also for Kia to throw a strop like that, it can't be something random. Something must have happened, and production have decided to edit it that way and not give us the full context, in my opinion. Otherwise, we should know exactly what was going on. So I don't get that. And oh God, Leah Lee. And then the girls, Leah and Lee, I don't understand them. I really don't. I don't understand why Lee has to be so territorial and possessive over someone about the slightest of issues. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK Season 10, Episode 28. So we continue with Homestay. So we get to see David and Kia. They go to see David's house. They get to meet his housemate. And the way Kia came across, he came across very pompous and very stuck up in the sense that he was talking about, oh, Mia, what do you and your friends like to do? Oh, well, that's totally different from what I like to do. I like to do shopping. I like to do drinking. I like to... It's like, you've known this about David all this time. Why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you done anything about it or seen whether this is something you like? Not for you to go up to his apartment and then you start sort of nitpicking at every single thing. I didn't like that. Reiss and Leisha met up with Reiss's mom. And Reiss's mom, something was not right with her. Something was not right. The way she was very sort of laid back, as though she didn't like the idea of the whole situation, including Leisha. And so for Leisha to say, we're already talking about babies, it's like, Leisha, you need to slow it down. You really need to slow it down. Even if you don't end up with Reiss, every man that you see in the street, if he's going to hear you within 2-3 days talking about children and marriage, he's going to run. So I don't understand why she continues to bring this. And the mother, you could tell, wasn't buying it because she was very dismissive about it. You then had David and Kia go for a date. I think that was produced by production. I think David had expressed that he's worried about his cat. So the production must have decided to be messy and thought, oh, we need some drama on their homestays. So let us put Kia in this uncomfortable situation. It sounded like, because Kia tried his best, I would have walked out the door as soon as I walked in and saw them cats. So I'm with him on that. So for him to walk out and say, oh, you're not having my back, you're not backing me, you're not back, which leads me to believe that production kept telling them, no, just sit down, we need a couple more scenes. They were waiting until he was agitated, and then once he was agitated, that's what they played out as being what happened. I don't think it all just blew up out of nowhere. It sounded like they had been having this back and forth with production and sort of moaning about the fact that they were being told to sort of sit with the cats. And so when production were persistent and asking them to stay with the cats, I think this is where things went left and they were never able to recover. So I don't know. I didn't like that little fight. We then had, Abigail and John go to Abigail's homestay. Her place looked amazing. It really looked amazing, and I loved how laid back they were and how excited they were for him to see her place. Because when they went to John's place, his family was very welcoming. His apartment was great. So it's only right for Abigail's homestay to be exactly the same, for things to go smoothly. But I was worried about her mom because I didn't know what was going to happen there. Leisha and Reiss went to her homestay in Edinburgh. He really liked it. He said it was very peaceful. It was very nice. And it's like, Leisha was given a guy who looks like she could have changed him to be what she wanted, but she didn't need to do the heavy lifting in one go. She should have just gently sort of teased him. He sounds like he's very stubborn, Reiss, on his part. So the idea that she thinks she can get her way with him is just something I don't understand. Okay, so Lee and Leah went to Lee's homestay, and they sat down for a meal with her friend. Her friend has always got this RBF, and so the idea that they felt this was the best person to bring on, it must be production who asked her for her to come back after whatever happened during Meet the Family. So they came back and they sat down for a dinner, and so they were saying, oh, we've been having an amazing time. Things have really changed. We're doing very well. We seem to be getting along very well in whatever we want to do. And so everyone was sort of watching it and thinking, oh God, what's happening here? What's happening here? So the idea that suddenly we went from them all being all giddy to starting to fight, and the friend was becoming uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. I have a feeling that Leah has given as much as she can and she's at her wits' end, and Lee has taken as much as she can and still wants to continue to take what she can and come out as the winner in that relationship. And she's never going to succeed. It's never going to end well. It's going to end in tears. In the following morning, everyone is excited to get up and prepare for the day. Reiss and Leisha seem to be in a good space, even though things didn't go very well with her mum. Abigail and John are excited because they are about to go and meet Abigail's family. We all know how Abigail's mum was in your face on wedding day. So I think there's a bit of anxiety that comes with that. So I can't wait to see there. Grace and Ashley had separate homestays. Ashley went to meet with his sister, and I didn't get the guy's name. I think that's his brother in law. Whereas for Grace, she went to meet, it looked like her sister or her friend. And that person, oh my God, looked very, very, she looked annoyed to be there. She really looked annoyed to be there. Because they were having this conversation with Grace, saying, everybody thinks he's a great guy, and I have so many problems with what he does. He's always contorting and changing stuff and whatever. And it's like, Grace, maybe at times when he says something, ask him, what do you mean by that? I don't quite understand. Before you react and you go into your feminist mode, ask him, why are you saying that? What do you mean? I'm a bit confused. Can you elaborate on what you're trying to get me to understand or what you're trying to get me to do? And this would all not have exploded in her face. I have a feeling Grace listened to her friends, and her friends gave her these ideas and impressions of the guy that she wanted, and then she screwed up. And once she screwed up, she realized that it's too late. And she's now trying to sort of win Ashley back. But she's made such a bad impression that I don't think he's going to take her back. Ashley meets up with his sister and brother in law, and they're sort of trying to find out exactly what's happened in this marriage. And he is saying he's given as much as he can. We can't knock him. He has. From wedding day, the moment he stood up there and waited hours on end for Grace to decide to come for the pictures, got him an A in my book. So anything else that's happened, apart from something that is sort of a no-no, I would always take his side. His family was saying to him, if you feel you've done everything and if that's the end of the road, that's it, then you need to take a step back. He needs to take a step back. He shouldn't have gone back. I wish he had just stayed at home. Grace was saying she's not going back to the apartments. So I hope he does the same. I have a feeling they both went home, were allowed to vent about what happened, and then keep it stepping. I understand Grace has been doing TikToks. I haven't had time to look for that. I don't know if I'll ever look for it anyway. You have Abigail's mom and dad come and sit down for a meal with her and John. And it's just so peaceful and so lovable. This is what I like when things go right on Married at First Sight. I was pleasantly surprised that her mom didn't sort of overreact or say anything, given how she was, oh, I have to approve, I have to approve. It's either one of two things. Abigail has kept her informed of every single thing, or they've met up outside of the experiment, and that has reassured her mom, because her mom looked like she had a personality transplant. And so I can't see, I can't wait to see what happens with what they do on Final Vows. Recently, she then went for a meal with her family. Her sister wasn't impressed. Her sister, Leanne, wasn't impressed because she felt like, Reiss is not 100% in this. And it's like, you know how much your sister can be. So how do you expect him to be all in when your sister's a bit intense and you yourself had said good luck on wedding day? So how can we suddenly go from that to things working out? I don't get it. David and Kia. Kia apparently went back home to London because he wanted to be amongst his own sort of things and be comfortable because he had had this breakdown. So they sat down, had a chat, and sort of aired their grievances. I don't know. I really don't know. I think Kia wants to be pampered, and I don't know whether David has the capacity to always keep pampering him and sort of making room for Kia to shine, because Kia, it seems, in the relationship wants to be the star of the relationship, because yes, they had a disagreement, but it wasn't enough for him to get on a train and go back to London. I understand where David was coming from when he said, I feel abandoned, so that I can get. We get to see Rebecca's apartment with Bailey. Her mom comes over. Her mom is very serious. She doesn't want her daughter to move. And Rebecca is saying, my business and my home is here and I'm very comfortable. My place is bigger. It seemed like more or less what she was implying. And it's like, oh my God, this is too much. They just need to make a decision. Are you staying married or are you getting divorced? If you are, then get on with it and we can move on. So I can't wait to see what happens with them. But it was insightful to see that this couple is not as perfect as they try to play out. They try to play out like Abigail and John, but they're in a totally different space. And I know I saw something on TikTok about Rebecca. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know how true it is until I actually see it being brought up on MAFS. And I think if it is true, that would be explanation as to why things have been going the way they are for them as a couple, why they've seem to be so seamless and why they're putting on a performance, because it seems some people come on the show for exposure and to get influencer roles and whatever. So if you want that, then you want to live with a squeaky clean image. So unless that's what they agreed upon with Bailey, I have so many questions in regards to Rebecca and Bailey and why suddenly they are falling apart about homestays and where you're going to live when they've been one of the stronger couples and they've said we don't disagree on anything. So I can't wait. I will try and upload my next review as soon as possible. Anyway, it was nice, it's short and sweet. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 27. Bye everyone.